Alright, what's up guys? We're going to be going through a workout today. So today is posterior legs and anterior upper body. So we're going to be hammering those muscles, and we're going to go through our warm-up routine and then the workout and then a little bit of the recovery routine afterwards. So it helps me stay healthy. It helps me drive the ball 330 plus like I normally do, and have some of those power numbers that I do. So if you want to learn how to hit the ball 330, 350, 380 is my max, right? Then go ahead and stick around for this workout. All right, so we start over here in our recovery room. I'm lucky to have my own facility. I train people to perform at their top athletic ability, right? So I have a bunch of tools here. Most of these you can buy online. If you use our link, you can get your discount too. But I always start with heat. So I got this Therabody Thermback here, so it just goes on the body here, it wraps around, and I usually just wear that to the facility on my ride in, but it heats the back. It's got infrared lights here too, some far lights, and then it's got vibration as well. So this gets my back good and loose, some blood flow there, and gets heat to it so that I'm ready to go once I get in here. And then depending on how I'm feeling, I'll either jump on our Chirp massage table to run the muscle along my back even more, which I normally do. And then we get some Theragun Mini going on any tight areas, and then we use our foam roller to roll out. So we start with a lot of soft tissue, a lot of heat, and then we get into stretching in our workout. So we're going to go ahead and get into our soft tissue, and then we'll move on to the stretching and the workout part. Alright, so this massage table, decompression table here is sweet. It's got two rollers that run up and down your spine, so it gets the really hard to massage muscles, really hard to work muscles that line the spine. And for rotational athletes, that's huge. Those muscles are always tight and always sore, so it's a great start to my workout to be able to get that soft tissue on all the muscles of the lower back, middle back, upper back, neck, everything, shoulders there with this table. So once we're done with that, we get into some soft tissue work with the Theragun. Just getting the hard to get spots that you can't get very well with foam roller. So we'll get the hip flexor, we'll get the tibialis anterior, which is the front side of the shin. We'll get the arm muscles with the forearms, the pec, the shoulders, all that good stuff there. So this Theragun's awesome for that. Now we're wrapping up some of the soft tissue work. We're finishing just with some foam rolling of the big muscles in the legs here. So we're getting the quads, we're getting the hamstrings, we're getting the IT bands, we're getting a little bit of the groin as well. We're getting all those muscles, making sure they're loose, and we break up any tension and adhesion in there before we get to our stretching. Alright, so now we're done with all the soft tissue work, so we're going to get to our stretching, and I like to mix in a good mix of static and active stretching. So static and dynamic stretching, so it just means do a lot of band assisted stretching, just holding positions to start, and then I get into actively moving. So I'm moving around, I'm doing lunges, I'm twisting, I'm doing more of a dynamic warm-up. Now we're getting to our stretching part. So this is our static stretching. I'm using a band here, so we're getting our hamstring, and then we're getting our groin and also hip flexor a little bit in this one on the opposite side, and then we're working our T-spine and mobility of the spine as we go into the crossover one here, as we go neck mobility as well. And then we jump into some hip mobility here, some 90-90s with some stretches and bending into that front leg. A little side bend to get that oblique and the IT band as well, the shoulders, the lat, everything there. And then we go into some active mobility here, starting to do some 90-90 hip swings into a hip flexor stretch into that groin as well, and just getting a full activation of the hips going. Alright, stretching is probably the most boring part of working out and being an athlete and being healthy, but it's probably one of the most important aspects of it. If you get too tight, you're going to pull something, you're going to tear something, right? So you got to make sure you're taking your warm-up and activation serious. So we're getting into a lot of upper body stretching here. We did the lat, the traps, the obliques, the abs, the shoulders. I mean, everything and anything we're stretching here. We're getting into the muscles underneath our scap muscle as we go into it. And again, these don't feel the best. They're very boring, but they're so important to being healthy, especially for rotational athletes and throwing athletes, right? So including these external rotations here with the band as you go into it. So that's kind of our static stretching routine that we go through with the arms, and then we get into our dynamic stuff. So we start to move a little bit more, and we start to get the blood flowing a little bit more, and we're now making our body get to those range of motions, right? So starting with shoulders here and just getting those fully loose, gets the back as well, and then we get into the T-spine and spine in general, the hips as we go into it, and we start just rotating, getting the spine loose completely. And then we start going into a walking dynamic stretch here. We get into some walking RDLs, getting those glutes activated. As we go into it, some side lunge with shoulder flexion. So again, glutes, outside of our glutes, our quads, our calves, our everything, and that flexion gets the shoulder. And now we go into deep hip stretch here, trying to get that knee down to the ankle. Again, and getting into a T-spine rotation and making sure that the back and the shoulders are loose. Finally going into a quad stretch and a little bit of a calf activation as we add some calf raises into that. And then we go into our mini loop band routine. So just again, getting the hips loose. Rotational athletes, your hips are so important. So do not skip the hip activation. So just doing all different directions with the hip here, and then we're basically ready to move into our workout. All right, we're done with the soft tissue, the warm-up routine here with the stretching and everything. Can't stress that enough, guys. Don't skip that, especially if you're working out. Make sure you do your stretching and your activation and all that stuff. It's going to help you perform at the highest level that you can, and it's going to keep you healthy. So take that seriously. But without further ado, we're going to get into our workout here. Some posterior legs, some anterior upper half. So here we go. We're going to get after it. All right, so pretty light and easy workout day. Been playing a lot of golf. Got golf coming up, so we kept it light and breezy. So starting with a little split stance RDL here. Really getting a rotational deadlift into it, and then I paired that with some shoulders here with just some push press, alternating push press. And then we went into some chest here, so just some alternating chest press. Really works the shoulder stability and the pecs there as you're going into it, everything of the rotator cuff. And then we went into some hip stability, some lateral side hip strength here, and working the pelvic floor of being able to hold our posture and activate our hip hinge. So huge for rotational athletes, baseball, softball, golf, as we go into it. And then our shoulders. So we went into a shoulder routine here, just a little frontal raise, and then went to a lateral raise. So shoulders, so important for baseball, softball, golf. You got to have strong shoulders, keep it connected to the torso when rotating, and also when throwing a baseball, you got to have a healthy shoulders. And then finished it up with just some more movement stuff, some explosive stuff, so some lunge, rotational slams here with the med ball, just working on stability of the hips, being able to hold that position while slamming that med ball. And then got into some just straight up med ball slams, really working that back flexion, and then the core being able to slam that down into the ground. Great exercise for all athletes, really. All right, guys, so that's it. That's our workout for today. That's our whole routine. Very light day, very easy day. Been playing a lot of golf, playing even more golf coming up, so not really pushing my limits a whole lot. More just maintaining and making sure that I'm staying healthy, my muscles are staying strong. We're keeping our mobility going as well, and just keeping the body right. So hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys can follow for more. If you guys need any of the equipment that we use today, go ahead and check out the links in my bio. And if you need a program, let me know too. We got those as well. But hopefully you guys like, share, subscribe, and have a good one, guys.